Hi loves! Thank you for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to draw bright red chili peppers. I'll show you all of the steps, starting from the initial sketch, then color selecting, then coloring, and adding some color accents. So let's get started. As usually, I'm gonna be drawing on Bristol paper. This is a very smooth and wide drawing paper, and 185 GSM. And I'm gonna be drawing with alcohol markers. My markers of choice are Copic Sketch. All the materials are listed in the description box. So let's start from the initial sketch. I'm gonna be using my mechanical graphite pencil and a kneaded eraser. So first I'm mapping out the size of the first pepper. It has a long, slightly curved shape, wider at the top and narrowing towards the tip. I'm drawing a smooth curve to capture its natural bend. Now I'm drawing the base where the stem connects to the pepper, then a short slightly bent line for the stem itself. Once the shapes look right, I'm refining the outlines. Now I'm adding the second chili pepper, slightly overlapping the first one. It's also curved but in a slightly different direction. Adding the base for the stem, and maybe now the stem itself. Refining all the shapes and erasing unnecessary lines. Now that the sketch is ready, I am lightening it with my kneaded eraser. Let's pick colors for this illustration. Starting from light to dark, I am grabbing my reds. The lightest red is very light red R00. The second color is mid-tone red R24. The next color is dark red R29. And the last one is burgundy red R39. So I have here very light red, mid-tone red, dark red, and very dark red. Next color is green, and my lightest color is very light green G20. The second is mid-tone G43. And my dark tone is G46. Only three greens here, light, medium, and dark. For the details of the stem, I'm gonna be using ochre colors. The first one is light ochre color E31. And the second one is yellowish brown E37. And the last row of color is warm gray. I'm gonna be using very light warm gray W0, light gray W2, and mid-tone gray W4. As I'm looking at the cast shadow of this illustration, I'd say you can go even darker with warm gray. And for the highlights and details, I'm using my white colored pencil Carandache Luminance. Let's get to coloring. I'm grabbing my lightest red and mapping out all the highlights on both peppers. Moving on to my mid-tone red R24. This is the base color of these peppers, and I'm covering the rest of the peppers with this shade. Going back to my lightest red, the color of my highlights, and going over the highlighted areas again. I like it when the highlights are not just plain white but have some tint to it. Building up values with help of my dark red R29 and adding this color to the right sides of the papers. Going back to my mid-tone color R24 and making smoother transitions between two colors. Finally adding the deepest shade, grabbing my burgundy red R39 and adding to the right sides of the papers. You can also use warm brown for this. Going back to my dark red and making soft blends. Grabbing my mid-tone red R24 and smoothing the transition even more. Let's move on to the stem and stem base. I'm starting off with my lightest green G20. This is the base color and I'm covering the whole base and stems of both papers. Building up volume with my mid-tone green G43, adding shadows and textures with this color. Going back to my lightest green and going over all the textures. Adding depth to the stems with help of my dark green G46. Going back to my mid-tone green G43 and smoothing the dark color. Adding some details with my dark green G46. adding highlights and details with help of my white colored pencil. Taking my light ochre color E31 and adding to the tips of the stems. Moving on to dark brown and adding some details. Going back to light ochre and making smoother transitions. Darkening some shadows on the stem with help of my dark green G46. Adding highlights with my white colored pencil and smoothing with my mid-tone green. Just a few touches with dark green. Refining the shadows on the paper with my burgundy color. And softening the blend with my mid-tone. And repeating this here and there. Now it's time for the shadow. I'm grabbing my light warm gray W2 and mapping out the shadow. Doing the same thing for the second paper. Grabbing my lightest warm gray W0 and softening the edges of the shadows. Moving on to my mid-tone warm gray W4 and deepening the shadows. Going back to light gray W2 and softening the transition. Softening the edges of the shadow with help of my lightest warm gray W0. Deepening the shadow once again with my mid-tone warm gray W4. If you have darker gray, go ahead and use it. Add it where the object meets the surface, right under the peppers. And softening the blend with help of my light warm gray W2. And that's it! Our 2 red chili peppers are ready. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and picked some tips for drawing shiny, vibrant food with alcohol markers. If you try this, I'd love to see your work. Feel free to tag me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now!